Welcome back once again. I've set up a particular scenario here where I have two devices, two computers that have already been hooked up so that they can communicate with each other from end to end. These are going via an Ethernet connection here using crossover cables. This third cable here is a console cable. The idea of the console cable is so that now I can access the CLI of the router using the desktop computer. So traditionally you'd see me open the router like this and I'd be having access to the router CLI. In the real world this doesn't happen. In the real world we plug in a console port and look at the router. So I'm using this particular PC to do this. I click on the PC and I have a choice of three tabs: Physical, Config and Desktop. We will choose from the desktop a terminal. The default settings of the terminal are correct. That is 9600 bits per second, 8 bits, no parity bits, 1 stop bit and no flow control. So it's 96, 8, none, 1, none. I click OK and it gives me the prompt of the router again. I'll just click on here and hit enter a couple of times and you can see this running through. This router here is called Paris. I'm going to change the host name of the router again. So this time I'm going to change the host name. I'll do conft, which is short for config terminal. I'm now in configuration mode and I will change the host name. Host name, I'll call it London. Done, it's changed. Now your next question is, where is this information that you've changed? The best way to find this information is in the running configuration. In order to see the running configuration, I do show, because it's a show command. I do it from this particular prompt here and I type in run for running configuration and it will automatically write the full word in there if I hit the tab key. And I hit enter and this is all the configuration of the router. Everything that the router does is held in the running configuration. Hit the spacebar and we go down, we can see all the commands. I scroll back a little bit and you can see IP addresses and subnet masks, and you can go one bit further, go down here and you can actually see the host name of London. I'm going to change this host name back to Paris and then we'll have a look at the startup configuration again. And here we go. I click on the terminal, leave it on the default, so I'll just drag this down here where we can see, hit enter a couple of times so we can see. We can use the up arrow and go back to configuration mode. Again we can use the up arrow and go back to host name. The advantage of this is I can edit the command. So I hit host name, this time it's going to be Paris. Hit enter. The prompt has now changed to Paris. I hit Control C. Brings us back to the original prompt and from here we want to show the running configuration. And here we have, down here a few lines, the host name is now changed to Paris. The final thing we want to do is we want to save this configuration so that if the power goes out anywhere in the network it'll copy itself from startup config to running config. Before we write it to the startup configuration we'll see what's there. I'll do show start up config and there's nothing there. I want to write this configuration as startup configuration. I'll just type in copy run to start. So copy running configuration to startup configuration, hit enter, it'll prompt you, leave it on its default and just hit enter. It's written. This time when I do show startup config we have a configuration.